Welcome to Order in Chaos, episode 19. So today we are on the topic of hiring fast and firing fast. We may have heard of this common adage before that's commonly used by VCs or MNCs where they use a model which is hire slow and fire fast. However, for SMEs, we think that instead, they should be following a hire fast and fire fast model. For SMEs, hiring speed matters, but standards matter even more. So the central question we are going to answer today is how do SMEs manage hiring quickly without lowering their standards?
Previous saying of hire slow, fire fast, right? To me, it's an excuse for being lazy or having a lack of systems, right? Because expecting every single employee to be a what we call a star player, right? Doesn't make sense. Like how many people can actually be like, I mean, that will even give 150, 200%. That's pushing it, right? Because at the end of the day, right, they are getting a fixed return for their effort.
When you hire an employee, right?
Yeah, when you hire an employee. I mean, you don't tell me about bonuses and all that because at the end of the day, the bonus is not actual sum that they will know before, during the year. It's only towards bonus month that they are able to get it. So knowing this mindset, right, and I'm sure this is something that a lot of business owners they face, which is that the generation is slowly getting woke, right? They're waking up. They feel like giving up on being gaslighted by their bosses, or you work harder and you'll get a promotion next year. That's not what they strive to get in their life anymore. If they're not giving their lives to the company, they realize that if I work so hard just so that I can enjoy my life when I retire at 65, and then I don't even have much time left or the health, pursue the activities that I want, right? Then why not slow it down now? It's supported by the fact that a lot of people are moving away from having no kids, right? Not even getting married. So all of this, then they ask themselves, so what exactly am I accumulating wealth for? Or why am I working so hard for?
When they're looking for a job, right?
Yeah, business owners, right? You need to understand that the markets have shifted, right? People are finding purpose beyond basic sustenance anymore, right? In the older generation, things were easier. Let's be real, lah.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you can tell me, oh, the new strawberry generation, they're not working hard. No, it's just that things were easier back then, dude. Like investing in any stock in the olden times, right? It seems like anything will rise. I still remember my mother telling me that like post pre 2008, right? You buy anything will rise. How hard is it? But in today's time, like the company can be outperforming its revenue, but now whatever. Stock tank.
Still thinking.
Yeah. So I mean, for all those who didn't know, like Salesforce, HubSpot, right? Their stock fell like what 60-70%. Their EPS is now 11. What? So that's just an example of like the changing sentiments of people, right? So we as owners, we have to keep up with the times of like not trying to gaslight people, being fair. I think being fair is the one of the main things. So when I say about hire fast, fire fast, because the problem with most SMEs is the fact that they do not have sufficient manpower and they cannot afford to make a mistake. They are not like MNCs, they are not like even we talk about medium enterprises, they have enough ammunition to make mistakes, to test someone out, whether they are right fit, right? Small enterprises do not. So what does small enterprises need to do? That's where the fire fast comes in, right? But you yourself must ask yourself whether you have the systems in place, whether you are systems meaning that the moment the person onboards, right? Is there onboarding process? Is the person's roles clear? Is the person's job scope similar to what the person is good in, right? Of course, we are not talking about people who either come into your company and do illegal things, people who lie on their resume, right? Then of course that's a different story, right? But if you expect, let's say you hire accounting staff, right? And then you expect the accounting staff, oh, we are short of manpower. I expect you to do admin work as well.
That wasn't stated upfront.
That wasn't stated upfront. Like, dude, like you claim the company practice what fair is a fair company, right? But then you yourself are trying to cheat your employees, right? And then they say like claim, oh, but they get paid. yeah, they get paid for doing something that is not within their expertise, and then they don't do it well, and then you blame it on them.
And then they also get frustrated.
Yeah. So it doesn't make sense. You must understand that you put the right person for the right job. That's the first thing. Second thing is ensuring that you are even giving the right instructions to the person. You as the founder, you must have clarity, right, on what exact role you want. Secondly, what is the deliverable? We are not talking about like vague deliverables like submit report at the end of every month, takes into account this, and this. Give the person the exact format and how to source for, let's say, if you need statistics to back, point the way to the right source of data. Or if it's private source of data, then knowing that you want the person to send you a report at the end of every month, provide that data way beforehand. That's it. Right? And not expect the person to figure it out along the way, trying to like, oh, how do I find this? And then you tell me, uh, find it online. Like, that's not the right way, lah. Right? Right? Clarity is the first. Providing the right tools is the second thing. Third is managing expectations. What do I mean by managing expectations is if the person is
Managing expectations as in the highest expectations. The
your
employees.
own expectation.
Oh,
Your own expectation. Because a lot of times the organization, right, what happens is they expect this employee to be able to do calculate with regards to, let's say, even if within the same field. But if you yourself don't have a system, right, like if you yourself, let's say, if your way of doing things has always been client comes in, I get the work done, deliver to the client, and that's it. That's not a system. What's step one, right, that the person should follow? What's step two? What's step three? So a lot of companies, SMEs, is like, oh, lead comes in. This one guy is supposed to be the BD, the lives with the client,
and also the one who is doing the
and then the one who is doing the work, like project management.
Yeah.
If the person is that good, right, the person will start his own company. He doesn't need to work for you.
That's true.
Logically speaking. So your main objective, right, should be I constantly emphasize this, which is having systems. Right? Having systems is one thing. Second thing is managing your own expectations. What is possible and how to know what is possible within, let's say, a set time frame, let's say within a month, right? You must have done that work before. We talk about if you have no experience in the work that you are talking about. I'm not saying like in every single role. Like I'm not saying like in accounting or HR. I'm not saying that you need to have experience in everything, right? But I'm saying that for the main service that your company does that deliver to the clients, you must have experience in it before.
Yeah.
Right? You must have done the work yourself. You will understand what's the process like. Yeah. So if you don't even know, or you just say, I'll just hire someone to do it, or outsource it to this person. Yeah, you're at the mercy of the person you outsource to, lah.
Yeah.
Right?
Because when you have personally done the work yourself, you know the whole experience, the whole flow of how the work is done. So
Yeah.
when you hire someone and then they produce the work, so you have something that you can anchor to and gauge whether they
It's effective or not,
perform-
efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think efficiency is one thing. Second thing is your own profit margins. Because if you are charging clients at a ridiculously low rate, thinking that you're just factoring in, but I outsource this ma. I get paid 2K. I pay this person 1K, I still earn 1K. You are not factoring in your own overheads. If you rent a space, if you hire an employee, you must count their time by per hour per day. Leh. Per day, what's your overheads per day? And if you are spending 5 days and then to fulfill this, right? Like no matter who it is, right? Like even if you were to do it yourself, if you were to outsource it, right? It takes 5 days. Is the client contract value worth these 5 days? If it's not, then obviously you should drop the client and not entertain some something hairy, lah. Right? I think that's the problem with a lot of SMEs because they try to like they're struggling to survive. So they just
Yeah, we know it ourselves.
Yeah.
At the starting phase, we don't have the luxury of saying no to
Yeah.
taking on projects. So inevitably, we might take on some projects that are like tougher to swallow, and then we have to just pull through with it. Yeah. So
I mean it helps with your cash flow, but then it doesn't help with your profit lah.
yeah. So the solution will be to what? We have to take on these clients, what? Because we have to survive. So
Limit your
it's just
scope.
to just
Limit your scope.
so are we looking to drop them off as soon as we can, or we
No, okay. So you have to actively, that's the survival phase. Survival phase, you need to find other clients to replace this. That's one thing. And I think the most important thing is not to be reliant on a single client.
yeah
A lot of people, they are reliant on a single client. They just at the back and call of that client and then like assume that, oh, never mind, once we get through this, the client will pay more. No, not true. Shitty client, right, will forever be a shitty client. Like, I'm not trying to be controversial here, but it's the truth, the hard truth that I've experienced in my life. Yeah, so that's on the company side. Limit the scope, right, and stick to it, right, which is everything written in. I mean, this jumps a bit to legal, lah, right? So you have everything in writing, and or you find someone to replace that client. Simple as that, and let other people handle the cheap charging, because your time is limited, right? The amount of money you can earn is unlimited, but your time is limited. So if you're spending that time servicing this client, let's say 5 days a month, the 5 days a month can be used to find new clients.
opportunity cost.
Yeah. It's from my own experience with the previous client. There was one point of time where I just thought like, hey, why should I put so much effort when outcome is fixed? Like that's the thing that I say will tie into employees' mindset. Right? Like they will start thinking like, why should I fight so hard when I'm getting the same amount? Right? So you must always assume that in the best case scenario, right, your employees will give 90%. That's my personal belief. I never assume that an employee will give more than 100%. 90 to 100, that guy is a keeper. That guy or girl is a keeper. That's my belief. Right? If the person, of course, if the person, it's the same back to our minimal excellence theory, the person scores an A, it's fine. That you should be keeping the person. Right?
Yeah.
If the person is failing, then yeah,
low A or high A doesn't
it's still an A.
much
Yeah,
difference.
to me, it's still an A.
Oh.
Because you realize it's seasonally adjusted. The type of if they're going through a tough time, you need to be close with your employees.
Conscious.
Yeah, conscious of what's going on in their lives. Is it a bad season? Like, do they have something going on in their mind, or is it like a real underperformance? That's one thing, right? As a owner,
Yeah.
you need to take ownership, right? So, but that ties into our like ONER framework, right? So what's ONER?
Right. So ONER, the O stands for
Objective.
which is the specific problem that we are addressing.
Or that you want your employee to help your business solve lah, right? That's the objective right? Then N is needs, right? So this is a reflection kind of thing. Needs meaning that are you solving the pain point that you have or that your clients have based on your objective, right? If you're just doing it for like busy work, right? Like it's not productive work, then that's where you need to be realigned,
Yeah.
right? Then what's E?
E will be execution, which is what exactly are you doing step by step to address the problem.
When we say step by step, right, we actually mean like has to be quantifiable steps. We're not talking about like give a follow-up call. Bro, that's not execution.
Yeah.
That's just smokes and mirrors for yourself. Like it's just self padding, right? So when we talk about execution, we are talking about okay, so give a call at 7 a.m. discussing what are the points, right? Then maybe if plan A doesn't answer, when's the next time to give a call again? That's execution, right? Also, like for you, for your employees, right? So it should be specific and measurable, smart lah, your smart objectives lah, right? So specific and measurable outcomes. Then R is for what's the results?
Yeah.
Results meaning that once this has been done, right? What was the outcome? It shouldn't be something like client didn't pick up.
Yeah, it should be more detailed than that.
Yeah, it definitely has to be. It's like in Singapore we will say and then, right? So it's the and then that matters more. So train your employees in this. I mean, you yourself must be able to carry this framework, right? And then this will diffuse to your employees lah, right? Because at the end of the day, right, like if your employees are that accountable to you, right, like when we talk about accountability, we are not saying like, oh, what time I was doing what. It's like, have you achieved your objectives for the day, right? And then you can have a very fair evaluation at the end of the month whether the employee is meeting expectations, is exceeding expectations. I think that's how you are being fair, right? And another thing is people who are not the right fit for the company, right? They will automatically leave the company without you even firing them. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Singapore, lah, but in Thailand this has been that way, lah,
Yeah.
right? Like people who are not driven, they sense the energy of the company, they sense the energy of the owner, right? And don't want to let the owner down because maybe you're moving at such a fast pace, right? And then they just feel like
They're not in sync.
they will just automatically leave because they will hate their lives every single day. Simple as that. So I think your company, you yourself must have a training system in place first, right? It can not be a very specific to the role kind of training because, of course, when you hire a person in a particular role, you would expect the person to have some basic foundation skill. Lah.
Yeah.
Imagine, let's say today we hire a graphic designer and the person doesn't know how to use Adobe.
Then what the hell? Right?
Then what?
Yeah.
What you're applying for? Right? So obviously your resume is fake. Because then that's when this ties into your hiring process to begin with, right? So like for us at Chaos Studios, we always demand a portfolio. I don't care what school you graduate, it doesn't matter shit to me. Because at the end of the day, right, real work is the thing that I'm looking for, man. Whether you're able to create, right? Whether you're able to design, right? This is something damn weird that happened to us recently, which is that we realized people that were coming from renowned schools, like in Thailand, right? Like renowned for design, right? In the end, they can't design for shit. Like they don't even have the basic foundation. What do I mean by basic foundation? Your hierarchy lah, your visual hierarchy, right? Visual hierarchy meaning that which word should be bigger to capture attention, which word is something that people will naturally, their eyes will naturally shift to read. Alignment, right? Some words are misaligned. Like spacing lah. Like spacing, let's say this is 32 pixels, this should be 16, something like that, right? For people who actually went to like a design school, this should have been a foundational module, right?
OCD.
I guess they don't teach. I guess the people who are not OCD cannot be designers. No, so there must be a visual cohesion to the things that you do. So if the person don't even have the basic foundational skills, right, and then the disparity comes in is when their portfolio is good, right? But their actual work is shit. Which means that somebody is lying, you know. Currently in the current market, right, we see a lot of resume padding.
I think it's quite common, but
Yeah.
for example, if they work in their previous company and then they design their own way, which is like a bit like
Cacat.
like all over the place. But then the final submission would be like tweaked and then everything will be perfect.
Yeah, because the
And they
person
would
will
use
bother to
that
teach
on
them.
their portfolio. Right.
Technically yeah lah. Technically yeah lah. But the work that was submitted was part of her final year project lah. So which means that you as the hiring need to resolve is whether it's
You have to verify
whether it's a group work kind of thing. Like it could be then the group mates carry lah.
Yeah.
Let's be real, right? It's either the group mates carry or and this is something I've seen in Singapore also, that people pay people on like Carousel to complete their schoolwork, right? EduBuddy, all that kind of stuff, right? Right. There's a lot of such incidents that we are very aware of.
So that's why it's important to hire fast and also to hire
Correct.
fast.
That's the fire fast part. Because if you are keeping a person who is lying about their skills, I won't say lying, like misrepresenting, very nice word. Right, misrepresenting their actual abilities, then I think it's wrong to keep the person.
Yeah.
Right? But the higher fast part is so that you must be able to train. You must have handbook where you are training your employees to get into their role as fast as possible. I think that's the part that is important.
And you also need to have a clear differentiation of what's trainable and what's untrainable and be able to spot it in that new employee.
Correct.
Yeah.
But for Chaos Studios, I think one thing we focus a lot on, right, is willingness to learn. That's one of our like the key traits I look out for.
That are untrainable.
Yeah, untrainable. Because that's your innate characteristic,
Yeah,
how you were brought up, your hunger lah. I think I phrase it as hunger, right? So like I think we mentioned it, right, that there was a HR that mentioned Singaporeans are not hungry enough. That I don't agree in that statement in general. But I do agree that some people are not hungry at all.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? You can see it in your life. But or it could be that they are hungry just not for the role that you are hiring them for. It's different.
Yeah.
Right? They could be their aspiration to be a chef. And then you tell them to 洗厕所
Yeah, no,
stewarding.
stewarding or something.
It's all what
It doesn't ignite their passion, so they
Yeah.
also wouldn't go and
Yeah, so I think, but there's one thing which I was sharing with Ken as well. Ken is a writer, right? He enjoys writing at heart, but he must know that whether his current way of writing is quantifiable, is in demand, right? So I also advise him to tweak according to the current market requirements. So it could be that academic writing, right? Technical writing, right? It could be even your packaging writing. So you have to think beyond that. We cannot be limiting ourselves a certain way of delivering. So let's say even if you are in what's that called, leather products, you cannot limit yourself to, oh, I just want to make one type of shoe. I just want to make brooks. Bro, that doesn't work, bro.
yeah.
Right? Right? There's Oxfords, there's Brooks, you can even venture into bags, you know. So explore, identify what's the core essence of your passion, and then explore everything around your passion. Yeah, so I think the main thing is that you have to be specific but also not limiting in terms of your passion.
So to conclude, right, hiring fast is useful, keeping standards is essential for your company. The real skill is knowing when to adjust, when to coach, and when to cut your losses as a SME, right? Okay, so with that, we come to the end of episode 19. If you like what you hear, let us know. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that. We'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Bye bye.